Let's look at some of the stories we have on the front page of the various newspapers. We'll start with the Daily Graphic. It has on the front page 6 police officers caught on video collecting money from drivers. I don't know whether we have that video. I have that video on my phone though. We have President Ouattara on a 2-day state visit, and national security meets Parliament over Libya ISIS report. But we never associated Asantehene with money laundering. But let's take a look at the main story. It's a 6 police officers caught on video collecting money from drivers. And that story is on page 3 of the paper. And just get to page 3 of the Daily Graphic, you get to find out. It's a 6 police officers have been summoned to the Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau, PIPS, of the Ghana Police Service to answer charges of misconduct. And the 6 who are all stationed at the Sekondi Police Regional Headquarters were caught on video collecting money from drivers at the Intraban barrier, if you're heading towards Takrady. And the Director General of the Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service told the Daily Graphic that when the attention of the police service was drawn to the video, which had gone viral on social media, personnel of the PIPS were tasked to investigate the authenticity of the video. Right now, it's just an allegation. We don't know. Could be some other personalities parading as police people. You never know. President Ouattara is on a 2-day state visit, and because of that, we have some roads that have been closed to the public for some time this morning. So national security also meets Parliament over Libya report. But the main story that will also be taking our attention is we never associated Asantehene with money laundering. We have to go to page 81 of the paper to read that story. And page 81, page 81, page 81. Quickly. And it's been captured rightly here. Okay. It says Ghana International Bank PLC in the UK says it has never suggested that the Asantehene Otumfuose II was involved in money laundering. In fact, we have no evidence to that effect, the bank said, adding that it had also not in any of its submissions questioned the integrity of the Asantehene. And these were contained in a statement issued by the Middleton Communications Limited. According to the statement, the ongoing case, which had caught public attention, was about a breach of the bank's internal policies and procedures, as well as the banking laws of the UK, by one of its former members of staff, Mark Arthur. So you just have to grab a copy of the Daily Graphic to know what they're talking about. On the back page, though, we have sports stories. It's the Indiana champions. And it says the sensational Adriana Stars put up a spirited performance to beat visiting Elmina Sharks 2-1 at the Nanajima and Bedu Park at Domahinkro to win the 2017-2018 Ghana Premier League with a game to spare. That's a league we have. But so this is how the log was a game to the close of the Premier League season. Adriana, they currently lie first, 57 points. Wafa, they have 50 points. Hasselfolk, 47 points. Kotoko with some 43 points. And then we have likely to be relegated. The Boga All Stars with 12 points and Great Olympics. No. So it's a battle between Great Olympics, Tama Youth, Bechem United. We have Liberty Professionals, Ashanti Gold. So they are in there because they are with 37, 38 and 36 points respectively. So that's how it goes. But let's go to the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have, we'll deal with troublemakers. IGP warns resident of Bimbela. And we know that there's been a bit of tension there. The story is captured on page 17 of the paper, and its initial paragraphs have been captured as saying that the IGP David Asante-Apietu has cautioned residents of Bimbela not to indulge in any form of violence. The security personnel deployed here will deal ruthlessly with any person or group that want to disturb the peace in the area. And the warning followed the rising tension and security tension in the Bimbela area in the wake of the burial of the mortal remains of the late Nakpana Salifu Dawuni in Bimbela last Wednesday. Nobody should shake the system and the peace there. Other stories we have on the front page, we have tribunal case has nothing to do with Asantehene, Ghana International Bank PLC, the UK. And then we also have President Akufo-Addo, Alassane Ouattara. Well, they're meeting today in Accra. And have police also closed roads in Accra because of the visit. So we have other stories there. But on the back page, we have Hamza strikes fast, and they're all related to the Ghana Premier League. So you just have to grab a copy of the Ghanaian Times to get to know what they're talking about. But on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, it's an interesting story. Has been surfacing in the news media over the last 12 hours, particularly before the close of the news day yesterday. It's a CID boss fired over land guard issues, and the story is on page 3 of the paper. It says that the CID boss has been removed from office, and his ouster from the Ghana Police Service is contained in a subtle order for him to proceed on his terminal leave pending his ultimate retirement in January next year. And the sudden action, according to Daily Guide sources, was in connection with a series of petitions against him in connection with land-related issues, particularly land guards. All right. And ACP Mamiya Tiwa Adudankwa, the second in command at the CID headquarters, has taken over the mantle of leadership of this specialized department of the police service. Now that creates more districts, and it will be interesting whether, well, your area has been captured as part of the district. President Akufo-Addo is set to create more districts to ensure smooth administration of the country. And Daily Guide is reliably informed that about 30 municipalities and districts are going to be created, barring any last-minute hitches. And a source said sub-metros in Accra, Tema, and Kumasi are going to be elevated to autonomous municipal assemblies, while other districts will be elevated to municipal status, a new district carved out of larger ones. We're going to have more than the 216 municipalities that we have, because we have metros, municipalities, as well as the normal districts. All right. So NDC also scraps fraudulent biometric, and it says the opposition NDC has resolved to scrap the biometric registration undertaken for its members ahead of the 2016 general elections. And the leadership of the party has now decided to conduct what it has termed re-registration for all members before the commencement of the exercise to elect new party officers from polling station to national levels. I use 7 cars, Baumia, and we know that the former rector for the GIMPA, Professor Adey, criticized, and I'm sure he was quoted whilst he appeared on a media station, says, well, he wants the vice president to stop using long convoys. According to that conversation, he believed that vice president had 16 cars in one of the convoys that he saw, and we're told that ultimately the vice president's office replied saying that he didn't actually use 16 cars, he used 7. And the story is captured on page 6 of the Daily Guide. It says Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Baumia has denied claims by Professor Stephen Adey to the effect that he travels in a convoy of not less than 16 vehicles. Professor Adey, former rector of GIMPA, sometime last week alleged that during the vice president's recent trip to Cape Coast in the central region, where he donated a bus to the St. Augustine's College, where he donated and later gave a public lecture at the University of Cape Coast, he counted no less than 16 sports utility, that's normal SUVs and 4-wheel drives we have around, and thereby raising eyebrows about the ostentatious lifestyle of the vice president. He said that if nobody will stop him, he will undertake a lone crusade to stop the vice president. Let's go to the center spread, the News1 newspaper. It has on the spread, Amate Yama returns for struggling movie industry. And then we have don't blame men for cheating. That's quick action. And We have other story. Promotes Ghana. VIP tells Miss Ghana Queens. So those are the stories we have. Let's look at the Finder newspaper. It has on the front page, fallout from gas explosions. Drivers blame a trouble gas. And then we also have President Alassane Ouattara begins a 2-day visit to Ghana, and drivers meet with no LPG training cause gas leakage. It's what we're told is the interim MPA report. So we'll discuss that this morning on AM Talk. And domestic tax revenue records some 17% increment in some 6 months. That's good news for revenue as far as we're concerned. And let's also look at the Daily Dispatch newspaper. It says Daily Dispatch vindicated again on citing a fuel station. The Daily Dispatch published this on does a recall, and then we started warning EPA in 2014. Again, the paper says why Professor Adair broke security norms and tried to overtake Vice President's convoy. I love how they've captured the story about the Vice President and the concerns raised by Professor Stephen Adair, and that's on. It says. Okay, so we have the Business and Financial Times. It has on the front page, MPA pushes for stronger local content downstream. That's good news. Despite the imminent shutdown of some players, not many times do we have local expertise in the petroleum industry in our country. So downstream is just the other derivatives operators within the sector. It will surprise you to know even not many people, not many Ghanaian firms cook for those players in the industry, so to speak. They don't provide even catering services. We have to take some expatriate firms to do that for us. We have done well pays 12.9 million Ghana cedi claims to Kingdom Books and Stationery. Well, that's huge. And Apex Bank MD wants a deeper collaboration among rural banks. SMEs call for tax obligations. And Airtel Tigo complete merger. On the back page, though, Total initiates road safety education for the hearing impaired. Is there? And then we have staff of Access Bank thrill customers with a stage play climaxing Customer Service Week, dressed in army fatigues in there. Okay, so those are the stories we have on the front page, all right, of the Business and Financial Times. So those are the stories basically we have, but let's go to the various online portals and see whether we can get some other stories also to talk about. On myjoyonline.com, we have man hit. Okay, we have Second Lady donates medical equipment to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and it says the Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Project, founded by the Second Lady Samira Baumia, has donated medical equipment and supplies worth over $60,000 to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Good work there. Good work there. And then we also have man hid in the woods for 10 years to escape a bad relationship. Malcolm Applegate, who is 62, apparently went to extreme measures to get out of what he describes as a controlling relationship. So he decided to go and hide in the forest, not to be controlled. Very interesting. We have results and match day statistics for the Ghana Premier League. And she met her prince for real at a DC nightclub. Mr. Makumet, okay. 40 dead as 40 dead as California blazes worsen. Fires continue over regions in California. Something that is witnessed usually. So when they're taking their building insurance, they make sure that they incorporate all that. President Alassane Ouattara to visit Ghana today, and because of that, we know some roads have been foreclosed to sections of motorists who ply those roads. Okujeto to be dragged before privileges committee over loose IC stock, and it says the North Tone Member of Parliament Okujeto Ablakwa may be summoned before Parliament's privileges committee over public comment on Libya's terrorism reports. Agriculture is my strategy to change lives. That's the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And then we have other stories there. Adaklu to host first factory in Volta region and the one district, one factory program. That's the Volta regional minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, announcing a plastic waste crisis partly contributed to June 3 disaster. The report of the June 3 committee set up to investigate the cause of the 2015 flood and fire disaster has revealed plastic waste in Accra contributed to the tragedy. Let's go up, let's go up, let's go up. We have other stories there, so you just have to make sure you visit the page and get other stories and make budgets accessible to visually impaired. And then we have Second Lady donating and sports stories and the other stories also there on the page. Okay, so you have a lot to read when you get to myjoyonline.com. Let's go to City FM. On City FM, on cityfmonline.com, we have declining cocoa prices cost Ghana some, okay, the sum has not been put there, some $1 billion, we're told. And the GPHA has been intimidating us since 2015, according to the Ave Maria Resort, GPHA. And the Ave Maria Resort is on that stretch, the Sakumono Beach stretch to Nungwa. High Commissioner weeps over young Nigerians prostituting in Ghana. Yeah, I think it needs to. That is, anyway. Some officials should have been fired for atomic explosion. That's according to lawyer. The lawyer is saying some big men should have been fired. Why? So we have other stories as well. Let's go to the Africa page of the BBC. And on the Africa page of the BBC, we have Iraqi forces move on disputed Kirkuk, and that's on the world page actually. On the Africa page, where we have hundreds die in Mogadishu blast, we're told that is the biggest or the largest casualty rate of any terrorist attack in the world. Over 250 people, I'm sure, I'm being told that it could even rise up to 300. And Saturday's truck bombing in the capital is the deadliest attack in Somalia's 10-year insurgency. It's the deadliest attack in terrorism history. Wow. Cargo plane crashes off Ivory Coast. We're told 3 people were on board. They died. Liberia election headed for a runoff. And former football star George Weah, who played for AC Milan, went to play for Chelsea. Before then had played for some French clubs, Saint-Germain and a couple of them. Well, he's there for a runoff. 6 years ago, I was in Liberia and it was very popular then too. So, you know, sometimes when you keep at something, you always get what you want. Conjoined twins survive epic journey. The 1-week-old baby girls had to go on a 15-hour journey on the back of a motorbike. They survived. That's the good thing about it. 6 dead in Kenya boarding school attack. And Zuma must face corruption charges. Those are the related stories we have. So pretty much that's it for the reviews. But we have Benedict Owusu with the latest sports stories. And usually this is what happens. On Monday, we bring you a lengthy edition of the sports segment. And more importantly, we try as much as possible to bring you a lot more of the results, not only from the Ghana Premier League, but also from the various leagues across Europe. So let's see how that goes. But right now we have to take a break. But through it all, you can get interactive on Facebook. We have JoyNews on TV. We stream there positively, and also on our channel, MyJoyOnline TV on YouTube. We also stream live. Please, we're taking a break. When we come back, Benedict will be here with the latest sports headlines. Do stay on.